So today, I'm honored to be sitting here with Tammy Peay, correct?
Yes, that's Tammy Peay.
For those, let me give a little background, my background first. I was introduced to her a few weeks ago on Facebook. She put up a video. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was real, most of all, authentic. And then the other day, with the Caitlyn Jenner phenomenon, you put a video up, which we'll go into later. The video to me was real, it was deep, and it was not politically correct, which a lot of people I think would do in a situation as big as that is, for a lot of people that relate with that and identify with that. Mm-hmm. So first, let's go backwards. Who is Tammy Peay? Let the people know who you are. This is kitchen talk with you, so.
Okay, welcome to my kitchen in the crack house. Tammy Peay. I'm a mother first. I'm a caretaker. I'm a comedian. I'm a businesswoman. I do some acting. I even sang karaoke once or twice. But my biggest thing is speaking the truth and saying what I feel from my heart, and standing up for people who I feel are oppressed or people are not standing up for them.
Okay, so you said people that are oppressed.
Yes.
When you say people that are oppressed, which people do you feel are the most oppressed in your eyes?
I don't believe he asked me that. I think it's obvious that it's people of color. Mm-hmm. It's people of color. It's anybody who is being mistreated, anybody who is denied fair and equal treatment, anybody who is denied housing, anybody who is denied medical, anybody who is denied a job, anybody who is denied anything that people just take for granted in their day-to-day life.
So first thing first, let's just go right into it. People of color, obviously, you're a woman, obviously, you're of color. Mm-hmm. How is that for you? Because those are more things. Usually people say, black men have things against them, but black women to me have way more, because a lot of these black women are raising black men without a black father, without a father. How is that for you, being a woman of color? How do you deal with oppression, or have you dealt with that?
When I first moved to out of state, out of New York, I had ran a business in New York successfully in my own name without a problem for a long time. But when I moved here, I realized that I had to play a different game.
Here in Eastern PA, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to name my company after, I gave it a German name, so that when people saw the logo or saw the business, they didn't feel it was owned by a black woman. And I had pretended to be a worker for long, and they didn't know I was the owner. And I did that for a very long time. And I just don't feel that people should have to do that. I feel that we should be able to be ourselves, and people respect me for who I am as a businesswoman and not look at me as a black woman, because I don't run a black business, I run a business. And sometimes with people, they tend to see your name and automatically feel that that's a reason to discriminate against you. And most times with my name is Tammy Lynette. Nobody knows if I'm black or white based on paper or applications or anything. And then when I walk in, everybody has the gas face. They're like, we're waiting for Tammy. No, I am Tammy. I just feel that we should be able to be treated fairly and equally. That's
let's
my
back
whole
up.
thing.
What kind of business is this?
I had a commercial cleaning franchise for years, and ran successfully with another business partner. And it just was, once I took the black face off of it, everything went boom and everything went successful. And I just felt that is not what I should have to do. I shouldn't have to name my business Deutsch Cleaning. I should be able to have, if I want to name it Soul Cornbread and collard greens, that's what I should be able to name it, and people should respect it as a business. But too many times, people are so comfortable with being mistreated or marginalized that they don't even realize that it's happening.
What made you, how did you realize that it was an issue at first? Because to me, a person has to go through an experience, or...
I learned that from my dad.
Okay.
I watched my dad run a business and never tell people he was the boss. And he didn't tell people he was the boss for a reason. He said as long as they feel that it's somebody else in control other than me, that he would be okay. And I watched him do that, and I used to get mad at him. And then when I started running my own business and I looked at how it was going, I just reverted back to what I saw him do. And I realized that what he did was a formula that worked.
So did you ever come out and say, like, this is my business? Did it ever come to a point when you were tired?
Oh, no, I didn't compromise the coin, boo.
Okay.
I didn't compromise the coin. But what I am doing is trying to get people to understand that when you see something wrong, say something. Too many times people are so comfortable where everybody wants to be politically correct. And when you're politically correct, it's to protect somebody. And if you're the person being discriminated against, it's not to protect you. So who are you protecting?
Politically correct. That's a word that these days people run with it, right? And a lot of people, I don't really think they understand it. You understand what I mean? Because I think everybody has their own definition of it, because I think people are too worried about opinions in one thing, and people can't take opinions on the other hand. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think people don't want to be outside of the in crowd, or people don't want to go against the grain. I live against the grain. If I don't like what's being done to someone around me, I say something. I say something, because I've learned that I don't say something, it escalates and it gets worse and worse and worse. And I think that's what's happening in our community.
So, comedian. How did you become a comedian? Like, tell us about that.
I went to a show. I just spoke to her on the phone with my mentor, Kim Harris. I went to a show with her, and she wasn't ready. I went on and talked to the people for like 5 minutes. She said, just go talk to them till I get ready. I went on out and spoke to them, and I got a standing ovation. And from there, I went on to do bigger venues and travel and cruise ships, and it just went on from there. It wasn't like I planned to say, oh, well, I'm going to leave my job and become a comedian. It was something that chose me. I didn't choose it.
So was it a passion? Was it something that you realized, like,
I love.
You love it?
I love.
So is that your first love over all your other professions?
Yes.
So did you...
Definitely.
Were you always funny?
All my life.
Really? Just
all
naturally?
my life. Naturally.
So how is it... Because, I've never talked... I mean, I know many comedians, but I never talked to, an official comedian. How is it, like, going in front of a bunch of people knowing that you have to make them laugh? Like, is it ever hard, or is it ever...
It depends on the crowd, but one thing I've learned...
Does a joke ever fall flat for you?
Not if there's a comeback.
Okay.
There always has to be a setup and a comeback. But every comedian has had a rough day or something like that. But what I've learned is, if I'm my authentic self and I just go out and I talk to the people like I'm talking to a group of my girlfriends, and it works.
Is a white crowd and a black crowd two different crowds for you?
Of course.
Why is that? And what makes it different? Give me a joke that you would probably give a black crowd and one you would give a white crowd.
Okay, if you're talking to a black crowd, the different types of black crowds, different types of white crowds, you should say that. I think that jokes tend to have to change based on economic status or socioeconomic status, more so than race. Because certain things rich people find funny that poor people just don't find funny. That's what people think. It's a black and white thing. I think it's more so a money thing. People with money, they don't find poverty jokes funny because I think they feel guilty. And people who are poor, they tend to be able to laugh more at themselves and find more laughter in the pain. That's what I believe.
I think that's true. When I'm thinking about comedy shows and stuff I've been to, how people relate. So,